Hello, 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 hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Terrific.
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you okay. I can see you. You look fantastic, if I may say. Well
Oh,
done.
thank you.
Excellent. And how does the day find you, Abby?
It's been pretty good. I was responding to people actually talking to them about the Korok poster that I made.
The Korokologist, that's who
and
we have on the show with us today. That's your officially given to you on the second episode of the Zelda podcast. Here you go. You now have that moniker. And because I'm a graphic artist, I will literally create like a little Korokologist emblem for you. How about that?
That'd be amazing. It's my most esteemed title I own now.
Indeed. Excellent. Now, do we have Mr. Hyrule Gamer with us?
I'm not sure. Can you hear
Yes,
me?
you are. You better be sure because I love you. And by the way, I can do that because I actually have Scottish
That was pretty
ancestry.
good.
Okay,
That
lots
was
of
pretty
love.
good.
Oh, you're fine.
Can you see me?
I cannot see you, but if you want to be seen, that would be lovely. And you can just
I
click in the
do.
bottom left. There's a little button that says Start Video.
Oh yeah, it literally says start video.
Excellent. Okay, see, this makes
I
me
should be
feel-
here.
Oh, you a handsome boy. Let me just say, beautiful woman, handsome boy. What's going on?
Thank you.
Come on. My fiance says, we say this all the time. It's like when you see beautiful people, tell them they're beautiful straight away, and then you just have it's said, and then you move on from there. So
It's just the Zelda fan thing. We're all just beautiful.
yeah, just all beautiful inner and outer people.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, so I was just asking Abby how her day was. I think I went into instantly promoting you and saying, okay, there you go, Korokologist, but that was me jumping in on a tangent, interrupting. I apologize. Abby, if you wanted to finish, complete your lovely story of how you've been with myself and the listeners and with Hyrule Gamer with us, how have you been?
I've been great. Yes, other than that, I just kind of ate some lunch and then got ready for the podcast. So pretty easy day.
Terrific. Here's to eating lunch, people. And that actually really, because of your amazing snack segment, which I am enamored with to the utmost.
Be sure to go and grab yourself a snack or drink and send them in to get featured right here. And let's grab this mystery by the hand and get into it.
I need that to take that segue. Thank you, Abby, to show some love to. I don't know if you want me to. Is Hyrule Gamer fine, or do you want me to?
I'd prefer Adam, honestly.
Adam. Okay, well, you know what, Adam, you are a brother. Abby, you are a sister from other misters and brothers from other mothers, because that is, as you said, Adam, the Zelda family. It's the real deal. It really is. There's a reason why the first episode of this podcast is called The Zelda Standard. And it is that in this way which we manifest. We put this out into the universe as this community that shows so much appreciation and love in the form of art, community, gatherings like what this is, the Zelda podcast. We try, I think we do our own end of just showing so much love to the Eiji Aonumas, to the Shigeru Miyamoto, to everyone involved with Zelda, to show them, look, thank you for being this series that honestly has never once rested on their laurels. Like, that's probably why, like, I sense such good vibes off of both of you. But that's me on another tangent. Adam, how has your day been?
Honestly speaking, nerve-wracking.
Okay.
I rarely do recorded things with other people. I think it's just I've never done it before, but
That's crazy to me.
honestly,
Yeah.
since the moment we've started, it's like nerves have just settled. Everything's
Skills,
good.
man. You're here. You guys are
Yeah.
all here at 5 a.m. Giant hugs from Australia. Come on. That's all good.
Yeah.
I can't believe how early you woke up.
Yeah. Oh, it's ridiculous. I'm just, again, omnidirectional with the whole network, but my alma mater, video game wise, is definitely Zelda. I'll give you a little kind of, how we have to all say our Zelda cred, if you will, that the young people say. So shout out to 1999, 1998, obviously, Ocarina of Time. But I first in earnest came into that Zelda world with, in Curtin. Here we had it was like pine trees and everything, and I remember very distinctly going over to my friend's house in like 2001 or 2 and playing on their Nintendo 64 Majora's Mask. Like, I have a very vivid memory of being like a little munchkin and just seeing those giants lift up, like that amazingly. It's the Lynchian Zelda. That's what Majora's Mask is. But that's me again on I think I'm gonna just like a nice trilogy of tangents, because from now on the love has to just be, I want to signal boost you to amazing folks. So if you don't mind, HG, ladies first, could we have Abby's A Zelda story? Shall we do that?
Yeah, sure.
Let's
So,
go.
okay,
Abby, go
I
for
think
it.
I actually didn't play it when I was younger. I started with Skyward Sword when I was in like middle school. So I'm pretty excited about the remaster one that's coming out because that's actually the first experience I had with it. Which is kind of cool because I'm pretty sure Skyward Sword's like the beginning of like the Zelda timeline, isn't it? Like, isn't it like one of the first? It might be. I think it's like the earliest in the timeline. But
I'm going to defer straight now to Mr.
Yeah,
Zeldologist
yeah.
scholar here. Please take it
is
from
the
here,
first
buddy.
in the timeline. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
right.
Okay.
So you're coming in at a good time. Go for it.
Yeah, so I played Skyward Sword. I'm pretty sure I beat it, but like I only played it through like the one time when I was in middle school, so I don't really remember. And then I actually played Ocarina of Time for the first time a couple of years ago because I never got the chance to play it when I was younger, and it was amazing. And I was able to get a Switch this past year and played Breath of the Wild, and I started Breath of the Wild probably like 3 different times on my friends' Switches because they'd like let me play it. And I like talked to the old man and got his the warm double like 3 times, and I finally was able to play through it. I just like played like 200 hours within like 3 weeks, like just straight through. I was like the only thing I did for a month.
That's incredible. That brings me so much joy. And it does speak to that sense that they really put themselves as a team, the Nintendo team, this Willy Wonka-esque kind of collective of the years may come and go, the mediums may come and go, but they are just this, as I said, the Zelda standard is they just put out absolute quality. And I think honestly they are the epitome of quality in interactive in the interactive art form for sure. And Breath of the Wild, man, here's another bit of an icebreaker, man. When I think I said this in the last episode, but yeah, so I was playing Breath of the Wild, and I just happened upon, as is one of the magical qualities of Breath of the Wild, which we will be experiencing in the sequel, which, Bond of the Triforce, we're vibing maybe that title. I think that would be a cool title. It would have that BOTW, BOT something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I came across naturally, maplessly, the Zora's Domain, and I honestly heard like Howard Shore's like Rivendell music in my like in just like the recesses of my being, even though obviously they have the beautiful soundtrack of the game, which I loved so much, the understated sort of gameplay first, Koji Kondo in the background, which by the way, even if they tried, this is another thing, they really tried, look, we just want to go in the background with the music with Breath of the Wild. And even then, Breath of the Wild is iconic music already. It's like that you just hear a little bit of piano, and so hey, not for lack of trying, they tried to make it like a less music centric, Koji Kondo centric, but all of those themes have been so beloved, and some of the kindred people who we're going to get on the show later with the Zelda Dungeon, they do those amazing the what is it, the rankings, they try to rank the different songs in like Breath of the Wild.
I've
continuously ranking up. But yeah, so for me, in that, we should do actually a little moment like that, like discoverable magic moment of Breath of the Wild. So for me, it was coming across Zora's Domain. I actually had a moment, like I think I cried. I was like, oh my god, this is like the actual envisioning a 1-for-1 of what the 1980s Shigeru Miyamoto had in his mind when he commissioned that painting of Link looking on the horizon, and that was the manifest. So I had a real moment myself there. But let's go. So buddy Adam, your moment, and then we'll circle back to Abby, of in Breath of the Wild, something completely dynamic, systemic, or that you just happened upon it by chance. What was that moment for you?
My favorite moment,
you
would say? It's tough because there's so many, to be honest.
You can say one of the dragons. You can say that. That's just the thing.
I think I would say the dragons, actually.
Oh, really? Oh, I was just throwing that out there.
No, now that you say it, that does almost bring the feeling back to me of seeing the dragon for the first time. Because in like past games, you had dragons, but they were always like confined to a space. And not to say you knew it was coming, but you knew something was coming. I was just walking across the bridge of Hylia, and out of nowhere, I just look in the sky. There is a massive dragon. That was something so surreal to me. I thought it was going to attack me, to be honest. Like, I thought I was going to have to fight that thing. I was like, I've just started the game. Because I didn't go straight to Kakariko Village. I went straight to the bridge. And that's one of the first things I saw after leaving the Great Plateau. Beautiful. So I was, to say the least, a little freaked out at first. But I quickly learned you don't have to fight them, which was good.
That's beautiful. How about you, Abby? What was your Breath of the Wild moment that first comes to mind?
Well, I mean, there's like a lot, because like there was just like so many things that impressed me. Like the Korok Forest, I thought obviously is like one of my favorite things.
Look what's behind you, of course.
Just going into Hyrule Castle for the first time, and like kind of it was almost like a 1-to-1 scale of like exploring through the castle. I thought that was amazing. And then, but I think like my favorite detail is actually when you go into Rito Village around like really early in the morning in the game, you can actually hear like the wind blowing through the pine trees. And like, I don't know if you've ever heard it in real life, but like I used to go fishing all the time really early in the morning, and like the wind blowing through like the fishing line would create like a humming noise. And they actually had that noise in the game, because the same thing happens when wind blows through pine trees or like really skinny trees. It makes like just like such a unique sound, and I was just blown away when I heard that. I'm like, they really included this tiny little detail in the game. Like, they didn't have to do that, but it just like, it almost made me cry because I was so excited about it.
Exactly. Yeah, that like the wind through the sort of the pine tree, like that sort of whispering, humming. Yeah, it's beautiful. And again, a minutia that they really, as you said, they didn't have to include. And the longevity of Breath of the Wild is indicative and is a beautiful, beautiful symptom of just how much that team. I actually say this of the God of War team as well, and I've spoken with the actress who played Freya, which we hope to have, and to have both of you back on the same Zoom as the actress who played Zelda in Breath of the Wild, getting some of the maybe new cast members, maybe even, I don't want to be controversial, but the voice actor for Link, who knows? Like, that is a huge controversial thing, but we will get that exclusive, and I want you, Abby, and you, Adam, to have these by the way, we are the AAA podcast now, by the way, so Adam, Abby, Adam. Yeah, totally. So I would love for you to jump on that show with me. I love connecting the creators and the communities, so, and that's as you saw with the Danielle episode, so that would be really rad. And so good vibes to that. But I'll tell you what, this trailer, which, I mean, I'm obviously having so much fun. There was always this element when you bring in new co-hosts or just like riffing on you can sense an energy of like, hey, these people are kindred. They're rad, on the same wavelength. But who knows? Like, when the cameras come on, who knows what happens? Just in the course of the past 50 minutes, like, you actually became sisters and brothers to me. Like, that's so wonderful. You had such very kindred experiences with Breath of the Wild in particular, and can we also say, and I want to throw this to you, Adam, the testament really of a series that is in its quote unquote latter years, even though, again, Zelda's timeless, that whole thing of the premise of the eternal of the sacred feminine being supported by the sacred masculine, the dysfunctional masculine represented by Ganon, all of that, like, that'll always be eternal. But can you just speak to how, like, we are 35 plus years now into this game's legacy, and not only has the standard not dropped, but now you actually struggle to get someone talking about Ocarina. It's all about Breath of the Wild. So can you speak to that? I mean,
that's just it, really. Breath of the Wild sort of, I guess for lack of a better term, reignited the series in a sense. Yeah. Not in the sense that it had died, but just maybe the flame had went down a little. Breath of the Wild put the series ablaze once again. Like, it had the same effect Ocarina of Time did. Yeah. I was amazed at how different but also amazing that game was. Like, I went into it thinking this is going to be something big, but I didn't realize how big that was going to be and how impactful it was. You see how many fans are both new to the series and coming back to the series, which I didn't expect. I expected new fans because it was different, it was open world, but I didn't expect so many old fans who grew up in Ocarina of Time, A Link to the Past, to come back and just fall in love with this. Yeah, it's something special for sure.
It really, really well and truly is. And I like that we have a couple of different generations represented here. I would say, I would hazard, and this maybe just maybe a credit to your like looking after yourself, Abby, like skincare routine or whatever, but you seem like the youngest of us. I say this, my fiance and I talk about
I
this.
think I would be, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think Abby would be. But Adam, hold on a second. Here's the thing. I say this to, and I'll just get my spiel out because it's crazy. I like to go on these little mini tangents, these Trojan horse tangents of like, my fiance says like the best skincare is great, like looking after, like the best makeup is great skincare or whatever. And I actually have this thing in my friend group or whatever. I can point to like who's like from Hyrule, and both of you could so easily be from Hyrule. Like obviously you on that Hylian sphere, Abby, and then buddy, come on, you and me, we're just a bunch of Kakariko. Exactly, you and I are just a bunch of Kakariko villagers. We're just trying to make our way in the world, you know. Like I could see us as
we could all definitely fit in.
Yeah, we are farmer brothers, and then I would be, because with this stuff here, so I had this tattooed long time ago. I designed this. These symbols that have this it's actually taken from what is in nature called morphogenesis, which is this it's the manner in which nature makes patterns. And I, coming off of some army accident stuff or whatever, back in 2005 even, I was like creating these patterns in the margins of my books. Just, I'm going to teleport you to like 2017 when we first saw this teaser. I had a very similar thing with Devil May Cry 5 as well, where I was like, what is going on? And I started seeing like my exact patterns like showing up.
Oh, true.
I know, and it's trippy, man. Like, and this one is called Organopy, which is like organic canopy, and it's based on, there's a Japanese word for kumorebi or something. It is, and I love these untranslatable words, and Breath of the Wild is full of this. It is the shape that leaves make, the shape that the shadows of leaves make on the ground, you know, and that like dappled light kind of thing. And frankly, you know, I also do That Game Company podcast, which is talking about the journeys of the world, Pathless, these therapeutic games. Let's do a roundtable on that. Abby, like you mentioned, and I love that you kind of teed us up to discuss that, is how Zelda has these, like Breath of the Wild in particular, has this component of like escapism in a way where you can just actually play it to relax, you know. Like, can you speak to that?
Yeah, I mean, like there's a lot of just like serene places in the game. Like I like it. I actually really like, I always end up going to the same shrine in the game, the one town, what's the name of it, the town that you make, that you like help build. It's like a side quest, but like I would always go there.
Go for it, HG.
Just to like, wait, what?
Whenever there's like a question of lore, I'm like, go for it, Adam.
I believe it's Terrytown. That's what I said.
Terrytown. Yeah. But like I would always go there just because it's like the music's all nice. The fairy goddess is like right next. The fairy fountain's like right next to the town. Like I would just always keep going back to that place because it's just like so relaxing, and like it's just a cute little town with all the little villagers, and it's just nice that you helped build it too.
Absolutely. So there you go. And I love how each in your own way unto yourselves embody that, as I like to call it, just the good vibes of the Zelda community. Like I'm looking at anthropomorphized, congealed versions and coalescences of good vibes. So love and light to you both. You cannot take it for granted. We met up pretty quickly. This is episode first time, and I honestly feel like I've been riffing with you guys forever, like literally on the same page about Zelda. So good vibes. So I figured at this point I should probably dive into what is now, if you've seen, and I'm going to flash the graphic in the edit here, is Searching the Skies, which is I believe I've made it an 8-part series, which is, believe it or not, as strange externally as it may seem, or as like maybe fanboyishly granular. Honestly, we get the trailer, we look at it in like a couple of different seconds increments, and genuinely, guys, I did this back in the day with Death Stranding. It was so additive doing that. We called that one Threading the Strands, you know? I like naming things. So Searching the Skies. So we would be, now I have actually the screen in front of me, and if you can find a screen next to you or bring up a window, if we wanted to go through the trailer, this latest amazing trailer for Breath of the Wild, the sequel. and just going through it. We're going to go 15 seconds at a time. Frankly, now it's almost like you spoiled all future guests because now I just want you guys for the rest of them. Honestly, that would be so great. But there's no pressure at all. So would you guys be kind of, even this early on into the recording, would you be up for coming back? I don't know. It's up to you.
Sure, that'd be fun.
Yeah,
excellent.
I'd definitely be.
And I will do my very best as my producer boffin hat to get some. I'm going to get Rivali's voice actor. I'm going to get the person who did the Foley art, like with a translator from Japan. Like, I want to get those criminally unsung voices, like right here.
Yeah, that would
connected
be
with
amazing.
you. Yeah, connected with you guys. And that's what, the network with the Just Topic podcast have actually really opened doors for that, like with the God of War as well. So good vibes for that. So if you, Adam, do you think Abby, shall we dive in? Let us do this. So now I'm betting that you guys have it all queued up already because you're a bunch of on the ball boffins, and you would expect me to be the same. First of all, this is also me demoing Elgato and the Sony all running at once. Am I coming through all clear and all that good stuff?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Am I okay?
Yeah, you're coming through perfectly.
Okay, cool.
You know what we're gonna do? I'm gonna actually, because I like to tangent and flow. Folks, if you thought that we were gonna dive into come on, searching the skies before talking about Abby's fucking incredible art, and yes, we can swear on this podcast, even though we'll probably inherently keep it mostly PG, but let's just say you made, like, your art is overwhelmingly beautiful, Abby. Like,
thank you so much. I started, like, I always used to draw. Like, I was obsessed with, like, drawing Pokemon when I was younger. Like, I made my own Pokemon cards, and just, like, I've lately been drawing mostly gifts for people or just, like, stuff I want in my room. But then, like, I got so much, like, positive feedback about it, and they're like, hey, you should make a art account, you should try selling stuff. And so I actually started the my art Instagram, like, in the very beginning of May, and it's been pretty great since.
Yes, it has been. We will be signal boosting the heck out of it too. We have a consolidated YouTube of about 39k subscribers, so I'm going to get as many people eyeballs on your art as possible. Same with yourself, Adam. Just exactly, like, signal boosting both of you, but a little bit more on this Korok Arboretum. Like, I love it so much. And I came across it obviously on the reddit.com/r/Zelda, where it got, and I'm just going to have my mini moment of grievance here. I encounter this a lot on Reddit, where they just decide to lock or delete threads or whatever, and I just have a pang to my heart of, like, oh my god, her post was really, like, up there. And I'll say right now, and I'll speak for all of them, I like to just kind of be this sort of avatar of, like, conveying the good vibes to you, because a lot of people, there's a bit of a timidness on the internet with, like, actually voicing. Like, there are the silent upvoters who are great, but I like to kind of just take in that collective spirit of appreciation and, like, push it, like, and give voice to it. So honestly, as you have it there beautifully framed behind you, I'm actually going to loop.
This is a similar one I made of, like, different mushrooms.
Because
the Korok one didn't actually come in yet because I posted it. And I ordered it, like, the day I finished it, and I posted it, like, all the same day.
Amazing. I do the same with Michelabra, my own art and stuff, the patterns, t-shirts. I order them and then I keep them around the house and stuff for show. But I'm gonna loop Adam into this. So your thoughts, my friend, on Abby's art? Come on.
I basically saw it yesterday, and I thought it was really amazing, to be honest. The Korok ones were not different. It was just, I don't mean to be that person, but it was outstanding. That was the thing. It was really good. I loved it. I even, like, showed my girlfriend it because she like adores Koroks. So I sent it to her and she said it was amazing as well. So.
Thank you. They were a lot of fun to make. Actually, I've been drawing them for a while. I have, like, a couple other things. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen, like, acrylic pour painting, but I tried, like, cutting out pieces of, like, the pour paintings and, like, to make it, like, shaped like a Korok, because it, like, looks like the designs of, like, wood. But I definitely liked designing these because they were just, I don't know, like, I love trees and I love nature, and the Koroks are, like, the epitome of, like, a little forest spirit, so they've always just been my favorite character from any game.
1,000,000%. And here's my maybe some eye rolling from some of the munchkins who do want to get over to Searching the Skies. We're getting there, believe me, but you're on the tangent taking network, so here we go. This might sound sappy or even a bit hippie-ish, but frankly, if you go all the way back before institution psychology, even storytelling, you just had straight up, like, you just had nature. And nature, this deference, as you saw my fellow Australian Good Blood, that documentary that outlines, that Shinto deference to nature, that Zelda has very much at the core of its messaging. Even Final Fantasy to some degree is this thing of the crystal, which representative of nature, but basically the idea that it'll always be there to catch you. It's always there for you. I think that's probably something that struck a chord symbolically with Breath of the Wild, is that's why it fit. It's like, it was like finally giving voice to that like little Okinawa and, Shigeru Miyamoto story, which you've all heard of him, out in the fields and stuff. Like, it's like he took that spirit of what that was and put it into the game. I notice I'm doing this gesture a lot because there's just a lot to channel in terms of my love for this series and and you guys, is again when I'm hearing you sort of tell your stories. But I know obviously the Koroks have some shared DNA with Princess Mononoke's little nature spirits, which we just dived into a little bit for the Elden Ring podcast. But let's do a quick little Princess Mononoke roundtable. Okay, so Abby, have you seen Princess Mononoke?
I've seen like references to it. That's like there's like a wolf, right?
Yeah. Did you see my eyes widen? I just got an instant stress because, lady, please love and light. If I have to send, because I love sending and unfettedly sending shouts to creators who are like as humble boffins as you both are. And guess what? Not anymore. All of your support outlets are going to be in the description to really signal boost the heck out of both of you. And yeah, I will I'll kind of PayPal spam you and spam you guys until you watch certain films. I'm kidding, but I would love you both. Actually, I don't know. Adam, have you seen Princess Mononoke?
No.
Okay, do I have to go shirtless? I have gone
videos.
shirtless on this fucking show before. You watch my Death Stranding. I lose it sometimes when I'm like, are you fucking kidding? Okay, so listen. Okay. Taking it down, centering and zenning. So especially, and I'll just say this, Abby, when you said this thing of resonating with the Koroks, yeah, so all of Prince, and yeah, don't worry, it's cool. I love my Zelda shirt. I don't want to ruin it. It's all good, But please, both of you, the DNA of the primary source, and this is my fiance talks about this all the time, is like the primary source for Devil May Cry is William Blake and Paradise Lost. So when you learn some of that, it actually super duper enhances your appreciation of the thing itself. And my goodness, if I could like get you guys back on for your Princess Mononoke impressions, I'd be over the moon. It would be so wonderful to hear, the younger munchkins like talk about it. You guys are just
I'll definitely watch it. I'm always looking for new things to watch. Wonderful.
So love and light to you both for that. And yeah, so I cannot wait. I really cannot. And all I'll say for people listening out there is so yeah, motifs of, get your checklists out. Get my glasses. Corrupted left arms, check. Certain kind of spirits that sort of navigate very quickly, like you've probably seen some of those clips of The Guardian, like that first 2015 trailer. Absolutely check. I mean, that's, again, it's not too much of a spoiler, but the opening scene is just right there. Breath of the Wild. Palette, we're talking, character design, absolutely. So good vibes all around. So the DNA is very strong there. So my completely impromptu Miyazaki tangent for you both right there. So yeah, but I honestly, and we have to like cap this off properly, because not only am I the taker of tangents, I am the rememberer of tangents. So frankly, Abby, it is a shoe-in. I would love to have a print of just the Arboretum. Would be amazing. Whenever that's up right now on your Etsy or something.
Of the Koroks? Or... Yeah, it's up right now, but I have to look more into international shipping, because I actually opened the shop like this month, so I'll
Okay.
look into that and get back
Okay.
to you.
Thank you. I'm glad that I can
Or
represent.
just make an exception, even if it is a challenge. Just make one
Okay.
for you, because like
I've got a forwarding address because I don't want to mess you up administrationally. I very much understand that because I've got stores of my own. Adam, you yourself as well have, I think, a bit of a Hyrule Gamer store happening with like your shirts and stuff.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, you
It's
do.
oh, what's the company called? I should remember that. Teespring is through that. I'm very new to selling anything. I actually had someone help set it up. So I made one of those designs, and that was my whole inside joke of like thinks they're a Zelda trooper from a while ago. But the rest was all stuff. I had a friend who's also a moderator on my Discord server help me make everything. So I'm probably the wrong person to ask about anything with that. But
oh boy, I'm gonna just low key, no pressure, and like I don't take
Mhm.
any fees or anything. But I like to just as this. I have that producer. I'm host, but also producer. So I always have these thoughts of like, you should totally do this. I'm gonna put you in the room with this person, so then you can have
Yeah.
this opportunity. So I'm gonna just be that person being like, hey, because I'll literally buy it. Like I just want a Hyrule Gamer shirt. I want not only Abby. I'm gonna say this. I would love the print, you know, of the entire arboretum at however high resolution. I also want an arboretum shirt, I think. And honestly, you know what you should do? A shirt for each of those amazing little Korok babies.
I was thinking I would be like, if I did like format it like one little Korok here and then like the full poster on the back, I think would be pretty
Totally.
cool. But I need to
Absolutely.
figure out a website to do that from.
Absolutely, and look into also there's in Celtic mythology, which you know sometimes Zelda dips into, and Scotland as well. There's association symbolically, spiritually, mythologically with certain trees. So you've actually named them all. You have cedar, you have willow. So look into that and pop some of those motifs in the description so people can be like, interesting. So maybe my grandma, who probably has no idea what Zelda is, will just see this, think it's cute, and like, okay, so that kind of goes outside the Zelda sphere. So also in the edit all throughout, I've been popping up clips of you guys, like your art, your stuff, Adam. I do love my editing, and I do love my Zoom masks as well. So I'm kind of, while all the people are on Discord, I'm sort of waving the Zoom flag because it is so convenient. I mean, what do you reckon? We'll just do a quick little tech thing. Pretty easy to sign up, pretty easy to like sort it out, right? Zoom, you know? Yep. And also, I'm not sponsored. I just love the program.
Yeah.
All right. Radness. So, and you know what I like to do is you guys, as well as being my amazing guests, I like to kind of loop people in as like co-hosts as well. So my host over on the Elden Ring podcast, he has dubbed him. Actually, I dubbed him the Interjector. So you can, even though we've just like started riffing, if you're like, Albert, you're on a bit of a tangent, it is time to get back to searching the sky. Yes, I think I saw Adam. Thank you. It's obviously show 1.
No, I was just listening.
No, you're amazing. By show 3, Abby, I want you to like straight up be like, Albert, come on, let's wrap things up, buddy. All right. So I think I'm also in a space of just savoring so much. Like I love Zelda. I love both of you so much. You are so representative of what I love most about the Zelda community, which is creative, which is earnest and very talented, obviously. And look, we haven't talked about it much, but you look fantastic as your Hylian self, Abby. Well done. Very beautiful. And my beautiful Adam. Come on. Another giant hug before searching the skies. Okay. Big giant hug. And also, don't worry, I'm not all like corrupted or whatever. I've been planning this sleeve for a long time.
It does look pretty sick.
Thank you, man. It's had a couple of different iterations, but that whole thing of, if you look at The Last Guardian, which we also do, the Fumito Ueda podcast, that character has like tattoos all over them. And frankly, we will dive into this. It always trips me out that I start seeing weirdly like myself, like with V from Devil May Cry, which we do the Devil May Cry podcast. But okay, it's time to say it. I'm one of those, I love Breath of the Wild, but before Breath of the Wild became my favorite, I'm anticipating the chorus of like, what? Especially the Ego Raptor crowd. I loved, and for me, it's my number 2 is Skyward Sword. Absolutely. Maybe we'll do right before jumping in. Let's just do a quick roundtable of number 1, just number 1 and number 2. So Abby, favorite Zelda, and then your second favorite Zelda.
All right. Well, my favorite is Breath of the Wild. It's like I think there's just no comparison. Like there's just so much to do in that game, and you constantly like learn new things every time you play, and it's just it's truly a masterpiece. I think it's probably the greatest game ever made, honestly.
All right, and
And
second
then
favorite?
Second favorite. Well, I mean, I've actually only played Ocarina of Time. I played Twilight Princess a little bit, but I didn't finish it. I don't know. I think I'm a little biased because Skyward Sword was my first game I played, but I just loved like flying around on the loft wings, even though it was just in the beginning. But I thought like being up in the sky was so cool, so probably that is my second favorite.
All right. So yeah, sorry. I love Loftwings, and I am Adam. The little I have a little Loftwing shrine. I pray to it every night that we will get flyable Loftwings in Breath of the Wild too.
That would be something.
You know what I mean? I love that. I love
I'm
Loftwings.
hoping.
So say again, Abby.
No, I said I'm really hoping because like I saw the sky and I'm like, oh my gosh, if they bring back the Loftwings, and also it's like they're remastering Skyward Sword right before they announce it, so
yeah, straight up. And this thing of which we haven't even talked about. It's sort of the gigantic elephant in the room right now, which is the Switch Pro, or not. See, I can't say that yet. Sorry, there's a lot of uproar, but I quite like the idea of the Switch OLED or the Switch O. You know, we can do a round table on that, but before that, Albert, you can't take a round table in the middle of a round table. Adam, number 1 Zelda, number 2 Zelda, go.
Number 1, Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
Number 2, Breath of the Wild.
Join the club. Join the Skyward Sword club.
Skyward Sword's up there for me.
Okay.
It's definitely in the top 5, but number 1 and 2 for me is Twilight Princess, Breath of the Wild.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so we have 2 BOTW Skyward Swords, you and I, Abby. And then we have, doesn't surprise me, buddy. And you know what? Little mini, because I'm an old man, tangent. I played Twilight Princess. Believe it or not, I used to be in the army. And I would play that thing right up until I had to put on my camouflage and go to work and stand in an armory and lie to myself about what I should be doing in my life.
Which version of the game was that? Was that the GameCube or the Wii version?
Well, this was the Wii version, 2006, baby. And so every Abby, you've seen Adam's like channel, like with Hyrule Gamer and stuff, like probably, yeah.
Yeah, I checked it out a little bit.
Rad. He and yeah, I can see you liberally have the beautiful motifs of the soundtrack of I love Twilight Princess. You know, it's sort of a now when I hear that, then I think you take this praise now. When I hear that, like when I hear that, it's Hyrule Gamer. I'm like, have I had my snack? Have I watched Hyrule Gamer today? It's like even when I'm watching a completely unrelated clip, I know that that's gonna happen. Yeah.
Surprisingly, that you're not the only person to tell me that. There has been a few people who've left comments saying, whenever I hear this sound effect, even when I'm playing, I think, "Oh, that's Hyrule Gamer." And I'm like, that amazes me that people like think that because to
also,
me, I'm just like, that's Twilight Princess.
Twilight Princess. You just made the entire team, which I hopefully I manifest for like the actual team themselves with Japanese subtitles, whoever, Nintendo of America, whoever can pass the message on. The fact that you in 2021 post Breath of the Wild 2 trailer, post Breath of the Wild are like, Twilight Princess is my number 1. Yeah. You just made them all like collectively squeeze their knees and blush and like, oh my god, he still loves our game from 2006.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, which is good vibes all around to you. So, all right, I think we should do it. I don't know why I'm doing this, but here's my transition. The coin transition. Are you going to come into focus for me? Are you going to do that? No, damn it. Anyway, there it is. Fuck.
Oh, that looks awesome.
Anyway, I was going to maybe start a motif of every time we do these Searching the Skies, I do some fancy effect. I need to enroll in the Hyrule Gamer School of Transitions. You know, you can help me with that. Right. All right, boffins. We've got this trailer. 1 minute and 40 seconds. And here we go. Fun. And it's, so basically the first 15 seconds. So here we go. Time code 00300455. So obviously what we have here, and for as much positivity as we've been, radiating as like a couple of boffins, the first 15 seconds of this trailer is just Ganon. Fuck, he's back. Like that is, you know, a lot of people like yourself, Hyrule gamer. We have, you know, I call them the faculty. You know, you have Professor Zeltic. You have assistant professor.
He would be the head of the department.
Exactly, you know. And Zeldon, by the way, this is our shout out to you if you're tuning in. I've tagged you a bunch of times. Jump on the show. Up and coming amazing Zeldologists, as I like to call them collectively, and also Zelda Lore, who I think is this. I think a Spanish channel.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've did a video with him before. He's really cool.
Fantastic. So it is. I don't like the word crowded. I like the word loving. There's just so much like you have to sort of move the crowd aside. Like that's how much love there is for Zelda. And I mean this unfetteredly. And I said this in messages, but it's going to be on the show. It's going to happen right now. Get ready. So Abi is my favorite community Zelda artist. Right, that's now in the canon that is established. Thank you.
There's a lot of Zelda artists out there, and they're all very talented.
And see, I was anticipating that. Obviously, that always, and I'm gonna get the same from Adam. Like, no, please stop being so humble. Where I'm in Australia, so I'm like, fucking shut up, fucking love you. You know, if you have seen, that's how we talk in Australia. It comes from love. So, without a doubt, I can't wait to see more of especially with the nature leaning. That kind of grounded, which, you know, like Guillermo del Toro, for example, like he in Pan's Labyrinth, like he will integrate some of his art and like his concept artists or whatever. They'll have it done in a certain way where you just wouldn't immediately place it as from the world of Zelda. Like if I came across like the Korok Arboretum in like the behind the scenes of the upcoming Amazon like Lord of the Rings series, like in just a book, you would just it's sort of done in this way, which is in world, you know, and that's why. As out of pie in the skies this may seem, not even that much, because, you know, stranger things have happened. I'm manifesting, and we will be clipping this out later in the timeline of you and I, Abi and Adam. I'm not done with you, Adam. Get ready for this. The love is real. So Abi, I manifest for you that Nintendo of America will be like, we need some in-game assets for this in-lore tome. We've finally gone 4K. That's it. This is Switch 3 or something. Can you, who by at this stage in the timeline will have developed, blossomed completely, you already are blossoming, but you will be tapped on the shoulder. It's like, hey, so we've been following you along in the Zelda community. This is not out of the likelihood of happening of like the community art actually melding and becoming part of what's created, like the Beyond Good and Evil, which we do. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, he channels the community for the art for the games. You're going to be one of those pioneering female artists that like end up getting chosen by Nintendo of America to develop some in-game like tomes of like some illustrations, you know, in the in God of totally. Am I would you dig that or what? Come on.
Oh my god! I mean, that's like the dream, but hopefully, I don't know, one day maybe.
A dream, but only up until
my dream when I was a kid was actually to be like a Pokemon concept artist. Like that was like, so if Nintendo wanted to hire me, I'd take it in a heartbeat.
And you know what will be rad, because I'm manifesting this additionally for you. We haven't even dived into our other sister show, which is Adam. I wonder what it's called. It's Instagram, the Pokemon Podcast. I grabbed that. You can see all of my love for this Breath of the Wildian game, Pokemon Legends Arceus. And I am going to get crafty with the edit. You are also, all of you, going to cringe right now, because I am going to play right now as a preview. As a munchkin in Italy, we had the Pokemon, obviously the series, and there was a singer called Giorgio Vanni who did this amazing "What is my destiny?" You know, Dragon Ball. Like he would do the, you know, Italian versions of these theme songs, and the Pokemon song. Here we go, done. So when you're listening to this back, maybe you'll have rolled your eyes. Maybe I actually suspect a lot of you will have been dancing along, because Giorgio Vanni, Pokemon theme song. You know, gotta catch 'em all. Like, come on. Like, I'm allowed to be daggy. I don't care what people think. Like, so Abi, this is obviously automatically an invitation to when we do get more from Pokemon Arceus. Did you want to come on the Pokemon Podcast and like riff?
I'm getting the game like as soon as it comes out. So like
amazing. Okay, well, but I've got you on for that one, the Pokemon Podcast.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Excellent. Get you on a damn show with the creator of Pokemon. Boom. You know. Adam,
I would freak out.
I mean, it's going to happen. So just put that in your calendar. Adam,
Right.
We live in a post-COVID Zoom-tastic era where people like the Zoom highways have just been established, like Death Stranding style. Like that is now paved. COVID kind of, expedited that. A lot of people are willing to just jump on a Zoom call now. And so I really do want to get. Guys, Bill Trinan is going to be on this show, and I'm going to have you both on the show with Bill Trinan. Okay?
The real Bill Trinan?
Oh, yes. Do you understand? Yeah. That's happening.
Yeah.
So, I don't want to put any pressure on, but you can totally, if you want to say, will you be on that show with me and Bill?
I can be on that show, yeah.
Okay, Abby, would you like to? Come on.
Yes, very much.
Vibing. By the way, you know how it's like if you're not vibing with like a bunch of, you have a signal like you tug your ear or you scratch your nose. There's been none of that with you guys. So
I've definitely scratched my hair a few times, but that's just because the headphones keep getting caught in it.
Okay, so Abby, it seems as though Adam and I, like the friendship was, it was over before it began. I'm so sorry to say this. I'm really sad. Adam, what happened between us? Anyway, so
can say.
who can say? But good vibes, good freaking vibes, and I love our little impromptu Pokemon tangent as well, Poke Tangent. But we'll do the traditional roundtable of this first 15 seconds. Look, it is a lot of Ganon. I'm gonna render my completely. I read symbolism into this. So emerging from the bottom left. So bottom, obviously symbolically, the depths represents the darkness. In the prologue of Skyward Sword, we're talking about the creatures emerging from the depths. And so remember, the art of the trailer is something that I massively send enormous love to. Like trailer editors are artists who never get any credit. So we want to get some of them on the show too, because a trailer has to be like the best trailers, at least the ones who really care about telling a story, are mini cosms. Like they're micro versions of what we will be experiencing in the game. In Italian, the word for left-handed is sinistro, so sinister. So for the Malice to be emerging from the bottom left-hand side of the screen, completely in terms of cinematography rules, in terms of cinematographical visual art symbolism, is absolutely perfect. And this thing is just flaring out. And Abby, clearly Ganon is back. This first 15 seconds of the trailer, what do you reckon?
I mean, I think it's crazy. I think like it ties in well because the last thing we saw was from like the original trailer was like the castle, like you see like the explosion underneath and you see Ganon turn his head like and the eyes light up and like it just ends and they're like, what? Like, and then they leave us for how many years has it been since the trailer? Like 2, right?
2019, a different world, frankly.
And then you see him like with like his arms rising up and like the calamity coming, like it's just it's crazy.
Absolutely, yeah. Wow. And yeah, we have a couple of flashes. So the first flash, interestingly, and I love this symbolically too, is that we see that red mist emerging, and so then immediately sets that dark, sinister tone. But the first flash we get is actually Link, which is, there's that whole thing of, you would know about this, Adam, the flip of what is his left arm, right arm, whatever. I like to think that it'll be this left arm so that it will fit symbolically. Even though we see him with the right arm there, it's like, sinistro, like let's add that symbolism. It doesn't matter really, but yeah, so for me, I love the idea that instead of Ganon appearing first, it is Link, our Link to this saga, our Link to this series. I have been wondering, Adam, to run you by something is there was something done beautifully with Skyward Sword where we got to retroactively explain the design of the Hylian shield. Now, that is a Skyloftian Loftwing. When you look at that Ocarina of Time, shield, that's unmistakable. So I think they are masters. That is a very convoluted timeline. I'm in that Dark Souls sphere. We know about convoluted timelines, Miyazaki and Kojima, and so we can vibe with that. But I think that with this title, there's a reason why, Abby, as you pointed out, we have the Skyward Sword stuff happening. There's a reason why all of this is happening very close, with Skyward Sword. And I think what they're doing is, especially with that later, not in this 15 seconds, but with the opening shot of him, doing his Tom Cruise jumping off the plane, going down. We are being subconsciously kind of nudged to be like, I know you might be thinking Majora's Mask, but let me also bring in these Skyward Sword vibes of going back into the origins and the thousands of years ago and stuff. So I'll start with Adam, loop it back to you, Abby. See how I like to balance out, just make sure everyone has the same. How much of what we've seen from this trailer, and then I think maybe in this 15 seconds, I guess, but we can broaden it up outside of the 15. Why not? Because that's the whole premise, is just taking whatever tangents feel natural. That we will get a lot of retroactive explaining of long held things. Like, will we get the explanation for Link's name? Are we going to get that? Is he the Link? Will Zelda actually say, or whoever will actually dub him, like the person that links these things? Will we get that solo moment of like, we get his name explained in that way? Go for it, Adam.
Given the changes and everything new that the first game did, I wouldn't put it past them to do something like that in this game. I think obviously we are in the dark, but I definitely could see something like that happening, especially if we are going into the past. Because of how, I guess you say, modern a game this is, they have a lot of opportunities to explain a lot of stuff from the past that we've never really known the answer to. And I think they're starting to realize that fans love that sort of stuff. So, I mean, if they just look on Twitter, for example, they'll know that everyone's obsessed with things like that. I think there is a possibility we could learn that. And even if not that, we're definitely going to learn a lot about Link. Or maybe a former Link. There's going to be a lot of Link. Let's say that.
A lot of Link. Straight, if I'm crafty with the edit, please don't be lazy, Albert. Please do this, future Albert. Straight out of Link, like straight out of Compton. Like, can you just... There you go. Done. Okay. So for the people watching that, okay, let's just have a little moment. Park the Zelda bus. In the internet era, Abby, can you speak to this? So we're, we creators, editors, artists, whatever. We are in such an instant gratification era. People constantly scrolling past that. There was someone talking about how like someone will like pick their nose on TikTok and get like 7 million views, and then someone who had multi cameras and like spent ages of time that won't get the same. We often put content, like Abby, just commiserate with me. We work really hard on stuff that a lot of people scroll past, right? Like that just happens, right?
I mean, yeah, that happens, but I think honestly, like any comment I get on something, just like I appreciate so much, because it just like shows that like one person supported it, and it's like, that's enough.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see. Look, that was a very emotionally self-resourceful kind of premise of like, you know what? In the face of that, we talked about this on the Elden Ring podcast. That is really admirable. And Abby, that's rad. You speak of someone beyond your years in terms of having come to peace about that. We had Zozuba, who's this amazing Naruto-inspired artist on the Elden Ring podcast. He talked about how he had that, he was leaning into like, I just noticed myself making art just for likes, and it became disingenuous, and it became, inauthentic to himself. And then he's just said, look, I'm just going to do things for myself. And then if anything happens on top of that, go for it. And you may have noticed like the 39K main thing for me, that's the signal boosting one, but all the individual outlets, 20 views, 10 views. For me, it's just about making the quality thing, and the world can take as long as it wants to eventually discover that person. There's no such thing as an overnight success or whatever, and it should never be go for it, Abby.
I was gonna say, like, when I first started my account, and like I would put stuff out, and like especially like after the mushrooms I did, because those kind of blew up on Reddit. I was like scared. I'm like, well, now what if I go back to like the stuff I was doing at the beginning, or like depending on what, like, will people still like it, like my account, if I don't just draw mushrooms all the time? And I was like, you know what? I should just keep doing what I like, because that's why people will follow. That's why people followed me in the first place. So they should continue. And if they don't like it, they can unfollow. It's as long as I'm doing what makes me happy, then the right people should follow.
That gets one of these from me.
And then I made the Korok, so
that's right. Whatever flows goes, I say. So whatever like actually comes naturally, as a byproduct of you just being who you are, creating this chronicle of art. That's wonderful, and it gives me so much hope. And then I actually hope in this way, I'm very stay in that positive sphere. That's important. I do have my darknesses and stuff, but but one thing I do like doing, and I dip into this is because now Adam is my Twilight, he's my dark. You're the bright side, Abby, but he's my Twilight Princess guy that I'm like, you know what? I'm actually, Adam, I'm going to guilt some people on this Elgato Wave 3 ASMR, all right?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't go to Abby's store and Abby's outlets right now and follow her and support her work, I will find you and I will unfollow you. I will follow you, then unfollow you, okay? So this is me speaking to those people. And
that's worse than just a standard unfollow.
Thank you. Thank you, Adam. That's exactly what I intended. So you know what? Thank you. And the very same with my pal, brother, sister over here. Come on, both of you. But yeah, do the same thing for Hyrule Game Up, because I swear, man, yeah, let's just say I'll just send bad vibes to you. I hope you stub your toe if you don't. Okay. See, that's as actually earnestly aggressive as I can actually get. But fucking do it. There's my Australian. There's my just straight up, just do it, because they're amazing. Like, look at these lovely people, and you know what? I know that you're both plugged into your Zelda spheres. If you end up having a vibey experience and enjoying it, and want to open up to conversations like that, like we really are that omnidirectional. Like we just any tangent that naturally flows, we go into that. So Abby, thank you for giving a voice to that. You just made so and so X name person, whoever, their ears perked up and said, you know what? If Abby felt good about staying true to herself, boom, I'll do the same. And so shout out to that person mowing their lawn or riding to school, hearing this and being like, okay, thank you, Abby, for inspiring me. And there you go. But now I have to turn it to you, buddy. You, I would say, the reason why you've risen to the very top for me, and I love Zeltic, but it's sorry, but you are just like, you know how in Mario Kart, there's the you're holding that main flag for me. I promise it's not just because of the snack segment. I promise, even though that is a huge part.
I don't know, that's hard to believe. It is a good segment.
It's a really good segment. But what you do is you have created this amazing, earnest, lovely, supportive, loving community that is has just grown so naturally, just like Abby's, with her art and her support, genuinely supportive people. And I foresee and will actively participate in signal boosting so many really big things for you and you too, Abby. Like I just want the very best. I'm giving a talk actually in Melbourne on the 3rd of October, where I'm going to be talking about like the unsung voices and stuff. And you guys' faces will be up on the screen of this like place that I'll be presenting, and just being like, yo, just these people right here. And it is so easy for certain figures to just rise to the top, and then for everyone else to just be forgotten. We've all felt it. I felt it. Doesn't matter. It's the content is worthwhile unto itself. And I just love both of you for being so resourceful and keeping yourselves near, as my fiance says, of like, you know what, this is for me. I'm doing it for me. And then if people come along, then that's great. So yeah. Love and good vibes to you both for that. All right. You know what? We have a lot of Ganon imagery, and that's why I think we're both, all three of us are like, but that's negative and we want to stay in the positive because we're having a good Zelda time. But I think we should do a Ganon deep dive because Ganon's here. So he's this thing, that thing of, Fantasia, the Disney, we also did the Disney podcast. Like this thing is, okay, I'll just throw it to you, Abby. Is he summoning something? Is he maybe bringing back Demise in some way? Is Breath of the Wild 2 going to be him, awakening the kaiju crazy, super marinated in malice for centuries, thousands of years version of Demise that he's like, here's my original incarnation and now I am fusing with my past self? And is there some resurrection happening here with that sort of body language? What do you reckon?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of took it as like his power was like once again rising, and like almost like just like with him like waking up, like that, like he was doing that, and then you see like you see the castle all lift up too at the end, and like that could be like him using his power to kind of like bring everything up, and just like the rise of him coming back into power and like trying to you have to and Link has to stop him or something like that.
Sorry, spoiler guys, Abby just named the sequel. It's The Rise of Ganon. Okay, if that ends up getting right, I am seriously going to send you like $50 or something. If it's The Rise of Ganon, I swear to God, that would be amazing. So fast forward when it actually is, but that is interesting and I had not thought of that. raising the castle itself. Okay, thank you. And I'll throw that to Adam. What do you reckon off of Abby's theory there?
Honestly, that was kind of eye-opening to hear because I never thought about it like that either.
See what I mean? Going at this bit of a pace.
I was definitely someone who thought this is some sort of reincarnation, but thinking about it now, it could make sense the way he's lifting up. Everything above him's lifting. That could be how we get to the sky initially. Who knows?
You said it, man.
That's really not annoying, but more funny because I made a video that went out today about how we could initially reach the sky, and I didn't get to include this idea.
Well, now you can, and you can say, "Hey, we riffed about it on the Zelda podcast," if you want.
Yeah,
so go for it.
No, definitely. But I could definitely see that being the case.
One thing I love, and I want to speak to Abby about this is tangents within tangents, but one wonderful side effect, which I would love to see for other communities, but maybe later we can use the Zelda. My focus is crazy. Can you just focus on me? It's like my camera doesn't love me. Come on. Like, what did I do to you? Come on, baby. All right. Honey, sweetie pie, come on, come back to me. My camera's great. She's great. I'm that my granddad or whatever used to be in the Navy. So now and in Italy, everything has a gender, la camera. So it has an A at the end. So it's a female. Mediterranean cultures are weird. Everything has to have a gender. That's really weird. But anyway, dude. So, now see, that's the thing. When you now I'm really like, if I really, we said Rise of Ganon. We said like bringing up this, it could be both. It could be this, this kind of necromantic thing where he's like raising like a whole like swath of soldiers. You know, that could be interesting. But obviously with this thing of going skyward, like that vibes in terms of symbolically with what we will then see with Zelda dropping, flying squirrel style. So I can really dig that. But there you go. Anyway, now I've remembered my tangent. I am the rememberer of tangents. So Abby,
yes.
The Zelda community is so granular. Like they are so like, they will develop a theory about like one single idea. Like for example, Nintendo Black Crisis, Monster Maze. They'll all just examine this. So it is a very attentive, studying body kind of thing. What do you reckon of like if we, as we're breaking this down, because we are not that we're consciously going for the record of like the most granular breakdown, but as we go along, where we are noticing, and what did I tell you at the start is like always when you go at this slow of a pace where you're just pulling out these things, just because it's the Instagram age, man. It's like everyone's going so fast. Like if you go this slow, you absolutely will notice something. Like even if it's something in the distance, which we will later when we have more imagery to go off of. So Abby, I want to ask you, like, when you look at like the wider kind of community and like how they do you when you are creating art, do you have the community like running in the background? Do you have Hyrule Gamers videos? Do you sort of like infuse yourself in that sort of extremely all comprehensive sort of body of video study that is the Zelda community?
I think actually, yeah, like playing like music from the games like definitely helps, like just like kind of to get that atmosphere. Like when I was making the Korok poster, like I played music, and then I would also try to look at like the trees that they're based off of and try to imagine how like the bark of the tree and just how that leaf would kind of fit in onto like the body of a little creature. And then I was like also looking at like all like a bunch of different Korok art just to see like how other people depicted Koroks, just like taking references from like a bunch of things, like just trying to see try to get as many viewpoints as I could so I could try to accurately depict the creatures.
That's rad. Okay, so that's how you sort of when you're kind of creating your stuff, you sort of have the music going. That's cool. I am going to speak on, because he's too polite, you just deeply offended Adam by saying that you aren't constantly listening to Hyrule Gamer content.
I'm so
sorry.
sorry.
You said that. No,
Abby, now I will.
Abby, that was a faux pas. What was that? Like, come on. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That's all good. But no, and so I'll just throw it to you, buddy, as well. When you're editing, one thing I do when I'm editing, I actually have two pairs of headphones. One is like to listen to the playback, and then I chuck on.
Do that too?
You do that too? Okay, great.
Music in one, playback in the other.
Playback in the other, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
I have like a smaller pair, which like the what do you call earbuds, the ones that just go directly in the ear.
God.
And then I put this over that, and it's amazing.
Another Albert's Zelda podcast ASMR moment. Adam is living in 3021.
Yeah.
Okay, come on, baby. All right. Man, it's a lot of flex. There's a lot of I mean, this Malice, man. And actually, I want to do a quick little roundtable on how do you guys feel about Malice coming back? We know that this is going to be, in some senses, even though there's that beautiful out of left field, like, stop thinking, please, literally, we're giving you imagery to make you stop thinking about Majora's Mask with this amazing, like, in the sky stuff, which we didn't truly anticipate. Remember, people are so quick to forget, but before this latest trailer, we didn't know we would be, like, hanging out in the sky. We saw a castle rising up, but that was still very much in the speculation sphere. And shout out to Commonwealth Realm, who he does his, I mean, like, that brother, like, he will build entire kind of speculative universes out of just like a single piece of imagery. So he's eating well, as the kids say nowadays. But how do you feel, both of you? I'll start with Abby. About Malice coming back. Would you have rather of something where we were going to another world, a separate map? Is it enough for you, I suppose, even though we're being very well fed with this game, I can tell. Is it enough for you, Abby, that we're getting the main map and then we get the sky and the underground, and that Malice is coming back as this thing, or were you hoping for maybe a completely out of left field Girahim style, like, or as you know, Adam, like the Twilight style, like different enemy? Is that fine for you that Malice is coming back? Is like, does Malice have more to say?
Yeah, I definitely, like, I was curious about that too, like when I heard there was a sequel, because like you fall in love with the world of like Breath of the Wild. So I was like wondering, like, am I going to be exploring the same map over again? Like, am I going to have the whole world have like a whole map of what I found already? Because like, how are they going to explain kind of Link losing all this stuff, and like how are you going to like just start over? But I think the introducing the Sky World is like really cool, because I was actually watching like a couple of videos about it, like how I forget whose video it was, but they mentioned the dragons going into the sky through like a portal. So like then now you're going into the sky too. So like, I'm wondering, like, will you see the dragons up there, or like has the sky like, and it's always been up there? I think that's really cool. And I've also like seen a couple theories about how, like, because it switches between Link and like his like champion's outfit, and also Link in the new like ancient Link outfit. So like, people are wondering, like, is it actually going to skip back in time to Link being the original champion, or like the original hero? So I think that's definitely enough if like they switch back and forth between present and the first Link. I think that would be pretty cool.
I really dig that. Any riffs on that, Adam?
Honestly, not really.
Okay, that's cool. 100% Abby stamped theory. Easy peasy. I like that, Abby. I think, frankly, what I love is that sometimes we will have an instinct collectively as the Zelda community that it's just going to be that thing. I think there's just at a certain point, with the very in-depth analysis that so many channels do, they chop down the videos and stuff, and that's totally fine. I've got a completely different, blatantly anti-algorithmic. Like, I love my in-depth, like, chuck it on, put on the tea, fucking mow the lawn. I love my like nice big long podcasts where it's like you can just really sink into some material. And algorithm, I'll see you later. Maybe in another lifetime we would have been friends, but so for me, it's like, with this thing of the time, like, I do like that the community just says, we just decide, look, we're gonna go back in time. Nothing has been revealed, no hint of plot, but just because of certain little tidbits, and you have Nintendo Black Crisis pointing out, like, this wasn't here at this time, and therefore da. So now, building off of what you said, what I will throw to you, Adam, is the, you've covered this. I think you've talked about this. We see it on a few different channels, but I'm going to add a spin to the question of, like, do you think we're going back in time? Because that's a bit rote.
Oh boy! But
not only going back in time, but in the same way that they really do want to push away this, just like they want to push it away, this idea of it being Majora's Mask. So I'm anticipating. Out of nowhere, them bringing in some Ocarina-esque, because like Breath of the Wild straight up does not have any time travel stuff. So I wonder if they might. Do you think we'll just see some of what they wanted to maybe, there was a bit of a blank slate thing with the book, the creating the champion. They had a giant brainstorming session of.
I think I read about that. Is that the bit at the back of the book?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's right. Where they just exactly. Where they just went through so many different ideas, and obviously that has also been discussed with sort of. Zelda will go through and sort of say here's what wasn't used, etc. But specifically for you, I wanna riff with like there are some places that we will just go to, like we do the Legacy of Kain podcast. We do that. We spoke with the art director Daniel Kabuko. That game was all about shifting. Like you could just in that place, not have to go to a temple, not stab in a sword. I'm talking like with this arm, which interestingly, what is it with video game characters and like an arm being able to do something? You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
It's great. But imagine, and I'll clip this out later for whatever inconceivable maybe reason that we end up being right. In place, do you believe with the power of this upcoming Switch, which I really strongly think we're looking at either a next-gen Switch exclusive, they may push this back. I don't want to make anyone cry, but I think this might be pushed back to 2023. I'm sorry. To be the lead-off title of this brand new Switch, to really get people to, not to make a pun here, but to switch over to that next one. Nintendo entering the 4K, like Breath of the Wild 2 has that guaranteed thing of like, I am so begrudging, I am so annoyed, you promised, but you know what, for you, okay, I'll jump on that next platform, Man, what is your over-under, and Abby, I'll loop you into this too, your over-under of you as Ancient Link, on the ground in the same Breath of the Wild map, and you're in the ruins of Lon Lon Ranch, and you have a moment where you can use some of your time-o-meter and you just go like that, and then everything around you just appear in like far ancient times, Lon Lon Ranch is alive again, that kind of thing. Possibly we could have a choice of different timelines. We can appear in Lon Lon Ranch during Ocarina of Time timeline. Would that be hype as fuck? Would you like that? What is your over-under on that?
I would like it.
That's cool.
I'm a bit sometimes I don't like to admit it because I like thinking of anything but time travel. Not that I hate it, just that it's been done.
Yeah.
But the way you painted a picture in my head there has got me a bit more hooked on the idea. I would dig that. That would be fucking awesome.
And to throw it to Abby, guess what? Not only can we go back in time, but we're going to bring our Loftwing back in time. We're going to go to Ocarina of Time era Hyrule and fly across on our fucking Loftwing. It'll be fucking rad.
So cool.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah,
I digress. What do you think? Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, just like because in Breath of the Wild, it's sad. Like most people are dead. Like you don't get to see like Hyrule and it's like in its glory. And I think it would be really cool if they sent you back to like the ancient era and see everything alive again. Like Breath of the Wild is so peaceful because like there's not much going on. It's like the aftermath of the apocalypse, and it's like I think it's like really cool to see the game like an apocalypse depicted in that way because it's so calm and peaceful. But it would be cool to go back in time to see the beginnings of it, and it might even be simpler. There might not be as many villagers or villages because it's so early, but I think it'd be really interesting to see what it was like when the legend came about that you learn about in Breath of the Wild.
Well, frankly, as you said, that would be beautiful. And I think the reason why Castletown specifically came to mind is that if they were to, for example, do the bomb drop, which, Uncharted did this, Uncharted 4 did this, they had a debut trailer, beautiful, people were hooked. And then in their second one, obviously, we're talking a much, much higher level of hype for this hypothetical Zelda situation. But there was a moment reactively when they saw, what the hell, you can choose dialogue in Uncharted. Like it was this completely unexpected thing that people just got suddenly super hyped for. And so when I think about if AG wants to say, you know what, you love Breath of the Wild, I am going to make you do what we did with Breath of the Wild that has made people semi-amnesiacally like forget about how amazing Ocarina is. Like, it has honestly taken that mantle of like best Zelda game, most cherished Zelda game, most like, I say this about games I love so much, is that I shove them, I just get like, I kick them back into my timeline, and it feels honestly as though I've had Breath of the Wild since I was like 11 or 12. Like, that's how much I love that thing, that game, that interactive, my goodness, experience. But so yeah, so for me, goodness me, this is me also keeping my expectations in check, because if this doesn't happen, I mean, I'll be fine. You guys have demonstrated it's very easily to be emotionally self-resourceful, but
Oh yeah.
I am so wedded to that idea of, if I was in, here's another one, sorry, and I don't want to make you like lean in a bit, Abby, but if we were in this far-flung future version, or far-flung past or whatever, like if we were sitting in the middle of the, like, it's the dead Deku tree, for example, and then we were able to temporarily, and maybe that's the thing, hey, how about this, Adam, just to kind of mitigate this thing of like, you know what, I think some people are a bit iffy with, maybe if it is a timed thing, and that brings in the Majora's Mask thing, is you can only go back in time for a certain amount of hours, like, and you can keep that version of the map, and that version, because it is just, it's a, in game development terms, it's just a switch of the mesh, which is same thing as with Soul Reaver. Is one thing you could do is that you could also introduce that into platforming. That's if they want to go, if Eiji Aonuma says, hey, this isn't just like we're adding the sky and the underground caverns, we are really making you rethink what's possible. So we're, and phasing, like that phasing through the earth thing shows to me that they really want to like completely outdo themselves, not just incrementally outdo themselves, but really take it into that almost, I don't think people are quite ready for just how much of a leap Breath of the Wild 2 is going to be, because they think they may be sleeping on it a bit, being like, oh, it's just this iteration, Breath of the Wild 1.5 kind of thing. I think it's going to be Breath of the Wild 3.0. Like, imagine if in the middle of a puzzle, part of the component of that puzzle is traveling back in time to a certain time period where that pumpkin was over there, or where that statue was over there, rather, so that you can push it, and then you rewind back in time so that you can lock it into another position. So what do you reckon? I'll go Abby, and then I'll loop it back to Adam.
I think that the puzzles things would be really really cool. I'm wondering like too if like they'd have Korok. I'm wondering if Koroks are even going to be in this, because like it depends on how it actually incorporates into the timeline, because I know like Koroks weren't always looking like the forest spirits. I think they like came from the Kokiri, and the Deku Tree turned them into like what they are. I'm like 99% sure about that. I'm not positive. So correct me if I'm wrong. But it would be really cool to like have to figure out puzzles by using the mechanic, because like Zelda always makes you use so many of the mechanics. Like they won't like, there's so many ways to incorporate like all the runes in Breath of the Wild. Like you can solve puzzles in so many ways by using the different runes, and like they never forget about a mechanic. Like they always like keep it in the back of their mind with puzzles. So if there is a way to go back in time, I definitely think that they would use it a lot for like the majority of the puzzles and dungeons and stuff.
You just inspired. I have a riff now. Before I throw it to you, Adam, and I want to get your thoughts on this too. We've been steeped and immersed and like marinating in these games, so sometimes it'll just something come naturally. Okay, so you know how Groot, and we see in the Guardians of the Galaxy, we see him going from little sapling to like adolescent to adult. I could so see something along the lines of like us visiting in Breath of the Wild 2, like this baby sapling, little baby, like a baby Korok. We've seen, normal aged Koroks, but like I'm talking like an adorable little baby. And they think that we are some kind of apparition in their dream, and they're like, who are you? And they think we're like a literally a tooth fairy type character. And then because of this time travel mechanic, we can visit them at certain parts of their life to like influence their like lifelong quest line to be this like imaginary friend that like comes back to their lives to encourage them. And then there can be a beautiful poignant moment where you like follow them along to like the end of their Korok life, where they find their Korok partner, and then you can see them become like a beautiful tree when they like, change shape into whatever the Korok version of like dying is or whatever. Man, I just gave myself that whole thing of like, what do you guys reckon of something like that? Like, I don't know.
I mean, I wouldn't be out of the question. I would love that, but because like in Ocarina of Time, right? They have you befriend the horse when it's a baby, and then you can like you befriend like Epona as a baby, and then ride him when you're Zelda. And I think that's like I thought that was my favorite part of that game, honestly.
You know what I mean? So there is, as you said, Abby, there's a precedent for that. So, so Adam, as you can tell, I can sometimes get lost in my tangents. Can you help loop me back? I think I'd thrown it to Abby about time mechanics. Say again, mate.
I thought it was puzzles.
Yeah, puzzles. Okay, take it from there, man. Puzzles, time travel, but in a new way. I want people to be like, oh wow, this is actually really cool, and there won't be too much timey-wimey Doctor Who stuff because we have limited pockets of time. Like it's actually a time limit, you know. And then maybe that can be another meter that we can, you know, hey, we have the stamina meter. Is like you have your time travel, like around, like probably like a purple circle around your. That is how much time you have back in time, you know, kind of thing. I mean, what would you reckon about that?
Just going off that real quick, I guess I'm going on a small tangent of my own. Yes. I don't think it necessarily would happen, but my instant thought there was, if that timer runs out, you're stuck in time somehow. And then there's some sort of, I don't know, you have to go through something to get out of it.
I love that.
I don't know how that would play into an open world game, but like the idea just hit me there of like, if you have a timer for a time frame, if that runs out, you're screwed essentially. So you can have another puzzle to figure out.
Oh my god! And you can actually have that. Okay, Albert, please don't be lazy. Cut to a Back to the Future clip. We'll go do it. What do you mean we're stuck? You know?
It's exactly like Back to the Future. You need to then figure your way out, and then come back to where you originally were, and just try not to get stuck again.
I have it for you right here. So you have this amazing, you know, that amazing tech workshop with the Guardian tech and stuff with the big glass and whatever. She says, "Oh my god, you screwed up again, didn't you? You know, like fine." And you have to actually
back to her.
Yeah, basically, say for example you're stuck in this time period, you have to farm, you have to grab rupees, and she can send you back. Like it's just something you have to work hard for. And I actually am one of the people that's like, I don't actually mind some of that. You know, quality of life is important, but I don't mind that thing of like, hey, when it's raining, you can't really like. I think they'll mitigate, maybe do a little bit of quality of life adjustments of that. But I do like the idea of like, yeah, man, you're stuck. Like you have to get your own way out of it. So, Abby, I'm going to throw Adam's idea at you. What do you think of running out of time and then needing to go? You know, we have this regular NPC we go back to who's like, okay, well, it's going to cost this much to timey-wimey this one time machine to send you back. So, and now the price has gone up. Actually, I don't think the price going up is going to be a good thing. But what do you reckon, Abby, of Adam's idea?
Yeah, no, that would be really interesting. I personally don't like time limits. It's kind of part of the reason why I never played Majora's Mask, because they stress me out. And I also didn't play. I think the first Pikmin game you have a time limit too with I guess like how quickly you can like complete the whole journey through Pikmin. So like I stay far away from that, but like I would definitely want to play it anyway. And if there wasn't like a consequence, rather like you just have to restart by going to an NPC. I mean, I think that would be pretty fair. Obviously, the price going up could happen. I don't think, because then the game would be stuck, and then you're 150 hours into a game and you can't continue or something.
Oh man, well, basically, if we were whiteboarding in some alternate universe where we're actually in the room of like, okay, what are the ideas for Breath of the Wild 2? I think we'd be like, that would be on the like in the middle of the whiteboard, like not quite fully approved. We'd have to workshop it a bit. Yeah, that is extremely intriguing. And Abby, amazing points there for sure. So, you know what, this has ended up like we've been speaking for an hour and a half. That's crazy. It has been so rad, but I just want to do a time check of how much longer I have each of you for, time zone wise. I believe for yourself, Abby, you're in the US there. It's coming to nighttime, right?
It's 5:30 over here, so it's not too bad.
Okay. And then how about yourself, Adam?
It is, where is my time? It's currently 10:04.
Okay, cool. 10 in the morning or 10 at night?
At night, sorry.
At night, okay. Well, then love and light to this buffin here for staying up. I don't know how long. I mean, I'm talking to a YouTuber here, so.
I mean, I wanna say I'm in bed by 11, but
there you go.
Very much a few hours after that.
Good vibes all around. Well, what we might do is I think we can close the chapter. If I was fancy with graphics, maybe I'll actually straight up commission Hyrule Gamer, my brother, to help me with start developing some of these things. I think we're good for the last 15 minutes. The first 15 seconds of this one, it really is just this declarative, it is a mood setter, definitely. And it tells you that we're definitely far from being out of the woods with Ganon. Demise's curse was real. I think Skyward Sword's emergence, I honestly think because Eiji Aonuma, he wrote it completely, like he created Skyward Sword, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
And he is very much in the heart of creating Breath of the Wild. I do this thing with, I'm going to throw this to you. So I like to just put timelines together and do this very respectfully speculative. I kind of cast out these sort of lines of thought where I'm like, if you think about George R. R. Martin in 2017, he was very much probably getting some of these season 8 scripts back and being like, what are you doing? And he would have been at odds with what he was, experiencing on that point. And then we look at when Elden Ring was written, and then I put those two together, and then you start hearing this imagery of you start hearing these terms of like the tarnished. This is all from Elden Ring. This is looping back into Zelda, but which is taking Elden Ring, openly taking influence from Breath of the Wild. And they both of these trailers have these giant turtle-like moments of like the mountains. Like I did a comparison shot on the Instagram. You can see it. Both of these trailers like won E3 for me for sure. But I can't extract like the context of George R. R. Martin going through what he was going through, naming his main character the Tarnished, which is like the tarnished legacy of Game of Thrones. And also if you look in Elden Ring, there's this premise of the character coming back to the lands of his origin. So I see that, I read between the lines, just like with Kojima, with Death Stranding, which is this giant sort of paean to and he's holding this baby, and this baby represents Metal Gear, and it is this thing that he's like reclaiming for himself after having it taken away from him from Konami and stuff. So with Breath of the Wild sequel, man, I can so see the co-development. There would have been some communication between these two. Abby, am I right? Like the Skyward Sword team and the Breath of the Wild 2 team. Come on, I mean I'm not crazy. They gotta
collaborate a little bit. I think it's definitely not a coincidence that they're remastering Skyward Sword now. People were asking for a lot of other games to be remastered for Switch, and they came out with Skyward Sword for a reason. And then you see Link floating through the sky. I really think that they're going to be pretty connected, at least. And it's just because you haven't been back. Skyward Sword is the only. I forget what the town the town in the sky is just
Skyloft.
Hyloft. Yeah. I think that's the only reference to Hyloft in any of the games. So I think
Skyloft, not Hyloft.
Okay,
although
Skyloft.
I do like Hyloft. That's very nice.
Yeah. That makes sense. I think that we're gonna get it's gonna be connected for sure.
Okay. I can really dig that. Yeah, no, totally. And I'm just gonna say it. We're gonna get this is my pie in the sky. This is the very last, just to add those hype moments to the end of people's days. So inspired from Abby, we're gonna have a Korok that has a helicopter. Fucking, you can with the leaves, and you can ride this amazing Korok friend helicopter around. That'll be so rad. Who knows? And then something Twilight print, a hype-tastic pie in the sky Twilight Princess inspired thing. Look, I actually respect. I saw your recent video about just shooting down any idea of Midna or anything. Totally. But some form of Twilight presence would just be a rad nod. And what you've done by including certain palette elements, remember, palette is very intentional. His arm has very strong Twilight vibes, frankly. With that sort of...
I can't deny that.
Yeah, that specific hue of cyan. It's ooh, don't you be teasing my Adams of the world. Don't do that. I think something rad is going to happen. So with that, but see, I mean, look, we're honestly on our journey to 2 hours of riffing. Man, you guys are great. Did you have a good time on the show?
Oh yeah, for sure. It was a lot of fun. Thanks for having me.
I've really enjoyed it.
Very, very welcome. And I will set things up. You've got the little, I'll flash it again now, the schedule for Searching the Skies for people tuning in. Yeah, that's right. And I'm going to get crafty with maybe getting this on Discord where we can get live questions and stuff or whatever. There's a really great Zoom attachment called, it's a weird name, but it's called like MMHMM. If you ever do Hyrule, I want to see, I would love to see a podcast from you, just the Hyrule Gamer, like podcast, why not? Or you can just like jump fully on as co-host. I mean, frankly, to me, you both have open invitation, no pressure to be co-hosts for the Zelda podcast. Like that's
Thank you.
yeah, okay, so you just are that, so there you go. Add that to your resumes now. But yeah, what it'll allow me to do is, you know how like where my hand is now, it'll actually allow me to bring in some images from the trailer so that you can actually see what I'm talking about, and we'll actually have the trailer like there-ish so that we can actually talk. And
so it's almost like a live presentation.
Live presentation. Yeah, it's very handy and it's free and stuff. So I've signed up to it. There's like a premium version or whatever. So that, listeners and viewers, please look forward to that. But even more than looking forward to anything from me, it is all about my amazing guests on this episode. So starting with Abi, where can people find you online?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram. I guess you'll have my name in the description. As for
it'll be flashing on the screen now. Yep.
Yes, and then also on Reddit for Abigail RRR, but it's a lot of R's. Okay. Saying it's 4.
Right.
And then I have an Etsy shop as well, so the link for that will also be in the description somewhere.
There you go. And at the risk of, I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna do the same for you, Adam. Abi, please set up a paypal.me/Abi whatever. Let us just, it's the tip jar. I just say this thing, like, let us just constantly have your tip jar floating all around you like a Navi fairy, like at all times as a creator online. Constant like availability of, because when someone comes across your art, they're going to have a pang of gratitude that it comes from a very wholesome and loving place, like, and they just throw in a coin and they throw in a dono. And frankly, Abi, we would love to see, I'm speaking collectively, like live streams of you like creating your, if you do digital, people would chime in on that. You can riff about your day and just like draw your art, and then people can like super chat you and stuff and just like support you in some way, because it's very super worthwhile what you're doing, for sure.
Thank you. I actually do have a TikTok, but I only have one video on TikTok. So
okay. All right.
Basically, Abi_toasted, but it's me drawing one of the Korok, so maybe someone would be interested.
There you go. But yeah, Twitch totally, or even, you know, YouTube is making it actually super streamlined to just, if you have Chrome, you don't need any like OBS or whatever. You can just like do a direct camera feed and stuff, and people can super chat you straight away. So, but before that, please do like a Patreon. Do you have a Patreon, by the way, at all?
No.
Okay, Adam, this is positive peer pressure. Okay, we just have to give Abi a very guilt engendering look right now. Like, Abi, what are you doing? Can you just set up a Patreon already? Come on.
I mean, I was pressured into setting mine up by fans.
Yeah,
I didn't even know what it was before it.
Okay,
so
well,
but it's definitely worth it.
Guess what? I'm signing up today. Okay. Buddy, you're gonna see that notification, but out. All right, and Abi, please do. Yeah, that would be so rad. And just like chuck it on there. If you want to do that thing of like, you get, because I get this all the time. It's like, oh, another platform I have to post stuff to. Honestly, don't even think about it like that. Set up the tiers. People will just support you for just being who you are and doing what you do genuinely. And I'm not alone in saying that. Like, a lot of folks tuning in, watching, seeing the thumbnail and vibing with you are just like, yeah, we want to support that. She's a good boffin. Like, okay, so, and yeah, I just feel like I'm, you know, the Mugatu, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Like, paypal.me/whatever, like, you can claim it. Like, we are on that frontier of this amazing tip jar, and like PayPal carries this thing of like security, or the PayPal protection. It's, no one is talking about it, none of the kids or whatever. It's like, just, if you literally just go paypal.me/Hyrule Gamer right now, if it isn't claimed by the end of the day, dude, I swear to God, like, I want to be able to dono to you, man, like, support you and stuff. So Abi, look into that too. So paypal.me/Abi something. Okay. Abi Normal. Mel Brooks.
Abi Normal. That's what my friend's dad used to call me.
Abi Normal? I just pulled that out of the ether. Are you kidding me?
So it's in Young Frankenstein, actually.
Okay.
Because the brain was the brain was abnormal, but he read it as Abi Normal, like the name Abi Normal.
Yeah. So we were talking all this time about like hype Zelda theories. That was my most hype moment of this recording. That, yeah. I'm so glad. I have my Marty Freeman Igor shirt over there, like the long sleeve.
Oh, really?
Like yes, master. Like,
Yeah.
who would have thought? Just from off of a pronunciation thing, we went on an amazing Mel Brooks tangent. Shout out to the man. I think he turned 95 recently. So out of
wow.
nowhere, like good vibes
Good
to
for
Mel
him.
Brooks, and I'm so glad. Seriously, Adam, I'm just having, I guess, a not quasi boomer moment, but I'm just like 33 in November, and it just clearly makes me happy that this, I don't know if you're in like late teens, early 20s, whatever.
I'm 23.
There you go. So the flag, the love of Mel Brooks is strong. So yes, Abby Normal, and it's
Yes.
so. Adam, have you seen Young Frankenstein? Now that we're on this tangent,
Once, but I regret to inform you, I don't really remember anything.
that's okay. You will love it.
I have horrible memory. I will be
That's okay.
the first person to tell you that.
You'll really dig it. I hope Bloodborne 2 has some Young Frankenstein references with all the equipment and stuff. But anyway, that's a distant tangent. Now, I just heard all the listeners being like, okay, Albert, in you come. So, Abby, thank you for giving us your outlets. Hyrule Gamer, you are Hyrule Gamer everywhere, correct?
Yes.
Well, there you go.
Even to my family.
And it's like, Grandma, don't call me Adam, Hyrule Gamer.
Yeah. They need to know the true me now.
That is the true you. And yeah, he was telling me before the show, actually, listeners, there was a genuine moment in a shopping center where he actually is like, do not put my name on that receipt. My name is, my true name is Hyrule Gamer, and he freaked out.
How dare you call me that?
The police were involved. It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Gotta make a scene.
Make a scene. That's so funny. Look, seriously, another giant volley of love and light to you all from the whole community listening in. A lot of you will end up not commenting. That's fine. A lot of you will end up not messaging Abby and Hyrule on their Twitters and Instagrams. That's fine. But I'm going to low-key from my heart guilt you into doing that. They're all just literally in the description right now. Go and send them some love and be like, hey, I saw you on the Zelda podcast. You're rad. Bond, support them. That's the one redeeming aspect of the internet. It can be such a cesspool sometimes, but the internet can have this amazing double-edged master sword quality, Twilight Realm, the different realms. It all fits. Like, we have this amazing opportunity to really create that positive space of, creativity, promoting creativity. So I'm actually going to guilt some of maybe the Reddit mods. Like, if you see Abby's post doing well, don't lock it. Let her fucking have all of her amazing...
They locked it for a good reason. There were people that were scamming, like they tried to take the art and sell it on other websites. So the Zelda mods actually locked it. The Breath of the Wild mods didn't lock it. So I think people were still able to upvote anyway, and a lot of people messaged me, so it worked out.
No, well, I'm very glad for that. And I think it's maybe I'm speaking from because sometimes they do that for us for whatever reason and stuff but and if you're a scammer, just 3, 2, 1 expletive alert. Fuck you for scamming any of my amazing content, creators here over on the show. Don't do that. If that even incepts you to maybe reconsider, we are in a sphere, especially in a sphere as active as the Zelda sphere, it can be really tempting to be to not credit a theory that you heard on Hyrule Gamer that you then run off on, or some art that you don't source the references to. But please do it, not just for good karma, but as in your own karma, and not just Reddit karma. But we do actually have resources for there's the reverse image search, for example. Please do that, and I will find you if you don't. So anyway, we shouldn't end the show on a threat. We'll end it on another giant wave of good vibes. So love and light to you both, and have a great rest of your day, you guys. And I cannot wait to chime back in again. Again, no pressure whatsoever, but I'll send you the details if you can make it. Great. If not, totally fine. And expect a lot of support coming your way from us ongoingly, because you're now permanently inducted. I do this thing after the series is ended. I send whoever jumped on the show, I send them a special t-shirt for being on the show. So it'll say searching the skies, on the back, and it'll just be this kind of cool thing that you guys will get to have.
Sounds awesome.
Thank you so much.
I love you guys.
Having me. I'm honored.
No worry. There's a love heart thing, but I'm gonna do the Triforce.
I'll give it one of those.
You give me one of those? Yeah, amazing. Okay, let's do it all for the thumbnail. So love hearts first.
Look at this Triforce.
Oh, okay, love hearts
doing it
first.
right?
And now let's try and do what you did. How do you? That's
I
cool.
forget
no.
And now this is whatever it is. We'll just post this.
No, I'm doing it wrong.
Okay, that's great. I'm going to put that in the Instagram post. Abby, there was a moment. I'm gonna, as a separate post, it's gonna be because this is Adam just had this. He was just doing this, like closing his eyes, really concentrating, trying to get the
Was
hand
I?
sign really well. And I was like, he is one of those monks over in the temples. It's just like, yes, you know, we love it. Okay, let's end the show on meditation. Okay, farewell, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. Till next time. Bye for now.
Thank you.
There you go.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, don't log off yet.
Oh.
we're in the post show now. Imagine if we ended that. Oh, that was so great. Oh my god, this is rad. This goes after the credits and stuff. So
Okay.
yeah. Rad times, you guys. Seriously. I was not I already knew you'd be great. You also, both of you have such great podcasting instincts, and another low key, no pressure, but like high key, like please do it. Like I would love to see you guys in this sphere a lot more. And as I said, co-host of the Zelda podcast, that's done. You guys, that's your title. No pressure at all. But yeah, you have such good instincts for the. So have you done any podcasts before, Abby?
No, not at all.
Seriously?
Honestly. Yeah.
Okay, well, you're vibing it. I'm serious. Like, and
well,
you had
thank
some.
you. I mean, you're mostly leading the show and discussion, so like I just answer your questions.
You took it in some great places. Adam, she did, right? Like some amazing.
Oh,
moments. Totally.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, easy. And same with you, dude, with Hyrule Gamer. So HGP sounds good. Hyrule Gamer podcast, get it happening, dude. And but you will always have a home here. And frankly, yeah, I will see you on the. Let's do it. I'll put it on the actual chronicle of the episode itself. I will see you on the next Searching the Skies. Come on, right? Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, easy peasy. All right, have an amazing rest of your day, guys. I will edit this as fast as possible. I will add all my clips. I will not neglect any clip adding. And yeah, so it's been so great to meet you both. And yeah, like have a great rest of the day. We'll speak on the next one.
All right.
Yeah,
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
See you, legends.
I will
Bye.
subscribe to Hyrule Gamer.
Oh my God, Adam, she just did that for you. Okay, go on.
That's amazing.
Okay, go on. You have to return the favor to Abby.
I think you actually followed me on Instagram.
I already
I haven't
follow,
subscribed on YouTube. I followed you on Instagram, but I'll follow you on subscribe on
Amazing.
YouTube too.
I think I followed the other day after you told me that it would be the three of us. I went and like checked it out. Yeah.
That's rad. Well,
So I returned the favor in advance. I was just thinking ahead.
yeah, man, you're a legend. I love you both. And Hyrule, I'm gonna signal boost your channel to the 39K. Abby, please tell me you have a YouTube channel where there's at least one video that I can like send people your way, and just because YouTube has that thing where you can share the post out and you can get a couple hundred new subscribers that way. You can actually claim your URL that way. If I just say, look, hey, 39,000 people, can you please go to Abby right now and like actually let her grab her URL and stuff? Do you have a YouTube at all? If you don't, Abby? Oh, Abby has frozen. That is fine.
Oh.
We lost Abby. That's it. The dream is over. That's okay. So shout out to you, Abby. If you jump on later, that's totally fine, but we'll riff it out. You'll see this in the post show. Oh, what a sad end to the episode. We lost Abby, but no, I think it's like whatever. We jinxed it, Adam. We jinxed it with this show because we said that we wouldn't have any technical errors. Correct?
Possibly. I have a bad memory. I did put that out there.
Anyway, I'll message her now. I'll just be like, it's all good. Like, send us a YouTube and stuff. But giant hugs, buddy. Till soon.
Yeah, definitely. This was great. I love this.
Oh, dude, this was so rad. Get like the next one, right? I'll send you everything.
Yeah.
We'll make it happen.
Oh yeah, I'll be like, I went not to take up like more of your time, but
No, it's not. Go ahead.
I was like super nervous for this because I was like, I'm gonna slip up. I'm gonna accidentally swear, being Scottish. But then you said swearing's fine.
It's totally fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm so glad, dude.
But no, it was great. I was like talking to my girlfriend all today, like, I'm nervous for this. I'm gonna screw up. It's gonna be awful for me.
Man.
But like, it was brilliant. I loved it.
Frankly, it honestly felt like as though we've been riffing forever. Like you just picked up on all the tangents. Yeah, man. And that's one thing is like there's a lot of and one thing is, you know, when I send you stuff, and I will include this because this is important for people to see, is you know, I know that like you put hard work into like your videos and stuff, and those one-off ones that do get the visibility. And I know that a podcast can sometimes be, you know, like a bit of a time ask, but I like to less think I think of it more as literally just hanging out, and that's my whole vibe.
Yeah,
And
it basically is that.
yeah, exactly. And because a lot of people they don't know quite what to think of that form of content where it's like, no, I plan on signal boosting you, I plan on sending you a dono, like you're gonna get something from it. Sometimes people insist, like you were like, no, don't. It's like, believe me, especially the ones who say don't send me stuff, I'm like, that's the sign that I should, because it means you work really hard and you're ultra humble and stuff like that. So but honestly, what you can actually see the Zelda podcast as going on from here, dude, is just a hangout space to riff out ideas for your videos. Like, if you now please, and this is all, like,
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, if I have permission, I'm definitely mentioning the stuck in time idea. If
you could just run with that, man. That's you, and you can start making of that. It'll take me maybe a day or two to edit this one. Oh my god, Abby's back in.
Oh really?
I'm so glad that we get to say, like, officially say, like, a proper actual, farewell.
That's
Abby
awesome.
Abby, guess what, we've just been hanging out. And Abby, how you doing? What's up? Hello. Excellent.
No, it started to like storm out of nowhere. My power went out. Thankfully,
that's okay. I'm super glad. No, we were just riffing, Adam and I, just about how, like, and this will happen every time. I'm actually going to include this. Is like every single time we hang out, it'll just be something. Either I'll send a dono, I'll buy something from your Etsy, I'll do something where you will get something out of it. But honestly, you really
don't have. You don't need to.
Believe me. And see, what did I say, Adam? Especially the people who say you don't need to, you have to. Saying. Especially for those people, because they work so hard, and you are, like, actually that humble enough to be like, no. It's like, believe me, that's the sign that I will. So think of it literally going forward as like, I've got my schedule as set out there with, like, you have the dates and stuff, when. With Elden Ring we go weekly, but it is honestly, Abby and Adam, it's just a hangout space, like, just to riff out ideas, to decompress, get your hype, as an outlet for hype. And Adam was just saying, like, just to take some of what we riff, like with the idea of me, shifting time periods, this as a stamina thing, he'll take that into a video of his, complete permission for anything. It is like openly anti-algorithmic to do that, but I've reached a point since doing the show since 2015. I just don't care anymore. I just want to have good times, so I don't care if it's like popular or whatever. I just want to riff, and then some amazing, worthwhile conversations, vibes, and friendships. I feel like I made 2 Hyrulean pals on the show today, kindred pals, definitely. So and I could so vibe with, like, if you guys are like, on the next Zelda podcast, just fully, like, hair down and just, like, riff and hang out. Like, that's the whole idea. No structure. It's just vibing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Amazing.
So, Abby, let's get a status on your home situation with please tell us that it's not going to be like that Don Bluth movie. This is, hey, you responded to the Mel Brooks. That was amazing. But I will be genuinely stunned if you know this. It's a movie where at the start it's like the house is, like, sinking into the ground. The Secret of Nim at all?
I've heard of that. I don't know if I think I don't know. No, I'm thinking of Pan's Labyrinth. I had heard of Secret of Nyms, though. I don't think I watched it, though.
Secret of Nim. There's also Don Bluth. We did the Don Bluth podcast, the Rockadoodle, I think. It's also about, like, he has this thing of, like, houses sinking into mud. It's like, what happened to you, man? But basically, I hope that your house isn't sinking into the mud or into the Twilight realm. That would be really sad.
No, not currently. It's just a lot of thunder and lightning.
Oh, whereabouts in the States, if it's not prying to us?
No, I'm in New Jersey. But, like, I'm in, like, North New Jersey. Yeah, in North New Jersey, so it's not like, maybe you've heard of Jersey Shore, but it's not like that at all. We're in, like, the farmlands of New Jersey.
For me, New Jersey is steeped, of all things, in Evangelion. My co-host from the Evangelion podcast is from New Jersey. His name is Nick.
Cool.
He's so rad. And obviously, the missus and I love Sopranos up and down, all around the place. And I've openly said that I would rather hang out in like, New Jersey with, like, some of the peeps and vibes there often than like, New York itself. It's like, I vibe with New Jersey. I've always vibed with New Jersey people. That's so rad, dude. So,
cool.
And how about you in Scotland? Whereabouts specifically, dude?
I guess I don't know if anyone's gonna have heard of it, but it's not actually a city, but it's about the size of a city. It's called Falkirk. It's like slap bang in the middle, pretty much.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
If you say it a bit clearer, I will then be able to find it and, like, maybe flash a picture. Falkirk. Yeah.
That's
cool.
I mean, I could give you the spelling if you want as well.
That's. Oh, you know what? That's cool. I think I know I will trust myself to find it. But you know what? Zelda developers, you need to have a character called Falkirk. That sounds amazing. And Hyrule Gamer has to voice that character. Because guess what? Here's the thing, guys. Okay, are you ready for this? So I just did this episode of the Final Fantasy podcast. I think you may be picking up on a pattern here. All the URLs were available, so I grabbed them all, right? Yeah. And I love these series. So I was talking on the Final Fantasy podcast recently, just about how, like you just bringing up, oh man, can you remind me? Now my 2 a.m. brain is starting to kick in. What were we just talking about, dude? Oh my god.
Where we're from?
Where we're from, yes. And it was just about this would be terrible.
Character?
Yeah, okay. So with Final Fantasy X, there was this aspect of the game of the historicity and the voice acting. Yeah, there you go. I don't think people. I put out a poll, man. I think I sent you a screen capture, Abby. You'll see it on Zelda. And I said, like, what do you think of Link going voiced? And like, love and light, but we are going to start getting. It's just the way of things. We're not going to have the silent protagonist forever. And I put out a poll, and it was almost split 50-50. There was most people were like, I hate it. I don't want it. And then the second right after that is like, you know what? I'm not quite ready for it, but let's see. And I think I'm ready, which actually rings true to me as a finger on the pulse of where people are at. And I remember the same happening for Final Fantasy X. It was tough to make that shift, but I will be damned if I don't use every ounce of me to get both of you in a game voicing a character. Like, I will do that. Zeltic has that as a shoe-in. Like, just like Vati, he has this at some point. It's just going to happen because of that exposure, where you just have that Venn diagramming of creators that if Breath of the Wild. Yeah, go ahead.
So there was a YouTuber, Prosody. He makes a lot of like sketch videos. Like he's pretty funny. But he actually voices Flack in Borderlands 3. But he started off on YouTube, and then he's now a voice actor for Flack. I mean, he could do like a really deep voice. Like it sounds like he's like a great voice actor. So it's totally possible.
Totally. And look, honestly, and I'm talking like whatever you're comfortable with. It's like I would have loved to just come across a character like an Abby, like based on you NPC, and like whatever, Breath of the Wild 2 is going to be Zelda 20 if we're going off of that Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, the main entries. It'll be the 20th. I'm serious. Like in like however many years, like Zelda 23, you stay. I honestly think just I can sense in the air between us like the love for Zelda. That's the lifelong love. Like, whatever, if you guys have kids or whatever, it'll go into like you'll have that love for this thing forever. I can tell. I don't think I'm speaking out of turn there. So I would so love to see it's like you stay close enough in the sphere of like Zelda and the creativity, and that, as I like to consider myself a symptom of just that. Literally, there's just a Zoom call away. We're gonna increasingly like quality audio quality is gonna leap up into the sky, and honestly, at some point, it'll just be a matter of emails away of like, Abby is now on the team, working remotely, producing in-game assets for Zelda 24 or something, and you Hyrule like doing there's co-streams. Jackie Jane was talking about her experience of hosting E3 and how it felt super surreal, but she did it. It's really, and it's not that it should be seen as like a thing of like an expectation of it, but frankly, you have just both such good heads on your shoulders and such good souls and hearts that I truly manifest that for both of you, like to really enter the creator sphere of like being part of these games in some way. You know what I mean? Like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. So I suppose we haven't actually riffed on that. So what is ahead for you, Abby, for the rest of your day, apart from, like handling the storm and everything?
I'm probably going to be, I actually am writing out like thank you letters right now to all the people that bought the Korok posters. So I have like a lot of thank you letters to write because it completely blew up. So that's probably how I'm going to spend my night, and then eat dinner.
Yes. Excellent. Letters than dinner. That is very quaint. And when you have, I like this, I don't know, there's this concept in Scandinavia. I've got Polish. It's adjacent, but not quite ancestry or whatever. Hygge, Hygge. It's like doing the cozy things and like by the windowsill with it raining outside. So just that, Adam, am I right? Like, how about that? Just thinking of like Abby in the night, just like writing letters and then having dinner and then falling asleep under a giant korok leaf. Like, you
That's
really
the
are
life.
living that lifestyle.
Sitting on the pillow. Right
Oh my
here.
god, it's too great. Amazing. You are the real deal, Abby, for sure. So and how about you, Adam? What's on for the rest of your day? Probably just sleep, I guess, right?
I would love to say sleep, but I'm probably gonna do some script writing for a bit because honestly,
bad.
it is just I love doing it kind of thing. Like when
too.
I have an idea in my head, I won't sleep on that. I need to get it out, even if it's messy, even if the grammar's horrible. I will get it out because I know the next again day I won't have that same drive that's hitting me right now, basically.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
I really hope for the people who have stuck around all this time into the post show, look at these amazing, lovely souls here with their like, that's the life they lead. They do this thing for love from a real place. And those are the voices creatively that are absolutely worthwhile and worth signal boosting. So I want you to think about that. Like, that's so, yeah, like we do this stuff out of love, simply. A lot of parties out there have that. As you saw, Abby, on your post, there's that scheming thing of like not taking credit. Like, we are fighting against that current in many ways to be creators in this space. But what brings me so much solace is the idea that, especially like younger folks like yourselves, you have that wisdom beyond your years of knowing that, you know what, like whatever that comes and goes, like the advantage taking and the all that crap. It's like the thing that'll just be, you know, how, like, to use a metaphor to close things off with Zelda, it's like there are certain things that stay unchanging through time. It's like you guys' love for Zelda, you guys' thing of like, Abby, I don't think I'm going out on a Korok limb here, but you have gone into the night, like creating art, like 3-4 a.m., correct?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's just like you start something and then you just keep going with it. I don't know. I just don't stop. Like, it's fun.
Exactly.
You just do what you like.
It feels like an extension of who you are. And I say this is like everyone before they arrived, you know, like the three goddesses, you know, before we were born, we had this thing that we were meant to do that was bestowed on us or whatever from the cosmos. And I kind of like, you actually already have that. It's not even a thing of like needing to find out what your purpose, it's like you just have it, and then it'll just persistently be this thing that you keep doing. And it's like, oh yeah, that's what I need to do. So for you, Abby, like amazing artistic career is ahead of you. I will signal boost it. I will make sure I'll do everything I can into the Zelda.
I went to school for like math and statistics, and I currently am a statistician. But like, I wanted to do the. I don't know. I've always liked drawing, and I thought like maybe if I could make something out of it, that's like one career that I think I would just thoroughly enjoy doing. You know.
There you go. So that is the transition totally and I wouldn't have. Yeah, and see, we all have these things. I have government stuff that I do here, like program management, blah, you know, and it's just but my heart is is in what I do with the Zelda podcast and the extended network, and so I vibe that for you, and that is your path. I manifest that for you, Abby. And again, without prying, man, like, what's your main gig? And you're gonna do this, Adam. This is gonna be what you do. You're gonna you're gonna go full. I say FTC, full-time creative, very soon. But what's the transition, man? What's your main gig?
Honestly, right now it's just this. Honestly,
Nice.
You go for it, dude. You just gave a lot of people like, yes.
I think a lot of people don't know that, but like it is like I'm in a position anyway where this is like a full-time thing for me.
Yep.
And the thing with like YouTube and just any creative job is almost all of them have the potential to keep growing. Obviously they can all have a downfall, but they don't really have a roof to hit either. So it's kind of cool like that. It's really still new to me because I don't know. It's just any creative job's got challenges, things you wouldn't expect, but I enjoy it.
I can see that, and I can very much feel that from both of you. And even if, as you mentioned, it's interesting that there's a kinship between you two in that, and myself too, with like I'm sitting still, and you saw, like I sent you that footage of me, like I've just got everything set up, like not the outlets. I've been doing it since 2015. I have locked into this thing, but even if we're all in that sort of similar boat, I guess since 2015 for me, but like for you guys, it's like, yes, you may be doing this thing of like, I think Abby, you said you started this in May, like really like earnestly, like
very.
But you wouldn't be able to tell because but your foundations, both of you, are so like, you know that there's growth that's going to be built. Like
Yeah.
there's a great platform for both of you to build. And what was Abby? What was the first piece of artwork you put out to like on your Instagram?
It's actually a picture of a character. Like it's a toad in socks. I named him Mort. And then like he's sitting on a log, and like there's a little moth next to him named Calyx. And it's just like the caption is something like Mort contemplates whether going vegetarian was like the right option or something like that, because the incessant flapping of the moth is like annoying him. But I actually started the art account because I want to make it like my goal is to one day make a children's book, kind of to mostly like, even if it didn't like get published or anything, I kind of want to just do it because like I grew up in like my mom like was always gardening, and like I always like played with all the frogs and the bugs in the garden, and I want at least to have that like kind of like, captured in a book for me to read to my kids one day, and like for them to like get the feeling. So that's kind of why I started the whole art thing in the first place.
Well, you know what? That is 1,000,000,000% happening for you. I do a like I love illustrating. I have the Quantumith, which I do, which is parables. I have the 3 Ps. It's like patterns, podcasts, and parables, and that's what the presentation's called. And I love it's the art of the short story. Yeah, that beautiful children's story, which, I mean, Adam, I think I speak for both of us. Like she has that, Abby has that vibe of like a children's like author, totally. Like, am I right? Like
100%. Yeah.
Thanks.
It's a vibe. It's hard to explain.
It is, yeah. And we will be front row, right? We'll grab that
Absolutely.
whatever bound edition, whatever you put out in terms of that and that I guess would explain Abby Toad, correct?
Yes, actually, and it's funny. Like my gamer tag on like Xbox is Abby Toots, because I made it that because our one friend hates farts, and I thought it would be funny if I just put Abby
farts.
Toots and it wasn't taken. So Abby Toads is derivative of Abby Toots. So my username comes from farts.
That we also do the Oddworld podcast, and so that's great. Amazing. But you know what, wholesome as all anything. Now you've made me not want to swear anymore because we have a children's author present. Apologies.
I was actually relieved when because I was watching the one with the girl from God of War, and I heard a curse word, and I'm like, okay, at least I can. I mean, not that I curse often, but I'm like, at least I don't have to worry if I accidentally curse or something.
Totally. Danielle is also, she would love both of you so much. Absolutely. So if you ever want to jump on an episode, if you want to riff with her, she is so open and loving, and she's actually now a close friend. And that's another thing that happens through these shows is like even Tommy Earl Jenkins, like we're actually buds now. And because we've transitioned into this Zoom era where you actually forge, like with the Last of Us podcast, like Catherine and Anne-Marie, who are now co-hosts for that one, we have genuine plans in place to like meet up in Oregon and like riff, and cool. Like they're my sisters, and you're my sister now, and you're my brother, and like that's how to do it, man. Like life is short. Like create the good vibes, like be unfettered. And I actually like to be in open defiance of like there's all that stuff, the terms of like simping, or like, oh, that's like it's to somehow imply that being unfettered and like loving and genuine is like somehow bad. It's like, no, man, like spread the good vibes for sure. So
exactly. Yeah.
I'm serious, totally. And now I'm going to give you this. You probably know about it. So have you heard, Abby, of Mouse Guard? Have you heard of Mouse Guard at all?
No.
It is Wind in the Willows meets Game of Thrones. Okay. With this vibe of like, definitely like everything that you've described with how you started with like there's anthropomorphic toads, like, and please definitely check out not only Princess Mononoke but Secret of Nim. I'll send you guys links and stuff. I'll pay for those rentals. Like I need you guys to watch those. That would be so rad. Mouse Guard, like they almost made a film with like Andy Serkis, and like that was all in progress. It's like, and everything is to scale. So The Borrowers, like it was an old British series, like The Borrowers, starring Ian Holm, who ended up playing Bilbo and stuff, and everything's super small scale, and they have like little sparrow mounts and stuff. It's like they have a little saddle for like a little, and they like it's adorable. You'd love it. And so I am manifesting to see more of our little frog character and to see the Abbyverse grow. That would be really rad. So totally. Adam, do you have anything like the way you just like writing stories and stuff like that, or making short films or whatever outside of your Zelda stuff?
I dabbled in fan fiction for like maybe a year, but honestly, doing that made me realize it's not something for me.
That's cool, man.
I did dabble. The thing is, I love reading it, So I tried it myself because I was like, I think I might like that.
Yeah.
But honestly, I just writing it's not for me. But like
That's cool.
reading it, I love reading it.
And dude, and honestly, what you do with the channel, it's and yourself, Abby, and I really will tie it off now because it's a testament. Like we've definitely passed the 2 hours now. It's because I love you guys so much, and honestly, it could have gone any kind of way. It's always a bit of a roll of the dice, but look, thank you so much for each of you for being who you are and doing what you do. You, Abby, with your art, you with your channel, buddy. Thank you.
And thank you for doing what you do. And just you just reached out to a random stranger on Reddit and asked me to join the podcast.
And there you go. And that's this wonderful, again, no pressure at all, but it ended up being this lovely thing of I honestly couldn't imagine doing the rest of the Searching the Skies and just the podcast itself without you. Like you've just immediately been like, oh my god, you guys are the hosts. Like that's amazing. So you can now officially say it's like, yeah, I'm the host of the Zelda podcast, whatever. Okay, so you can say that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm that guy.
Yeah, you are. You are, and Abby, you are that girl. So giant. Okay, this is the third trilogy of hugs, big hugs. All right, and I will see you guys on the next one. Okay.
All right.
Take it easy. Have a
See
great
you
day
then.
and a good weekend.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Have a good day. Bye.